Welcome back to Malonze Productions. So today I'm going to be reviewing the private server Turtle WoW. Now, I'm only going to be doing like a beginner kind of review because I've only gotten to level 34 or 35 in the game. So this is going to be a level 1 through 30 early game review. Now, the way I'm reviewing this server is that I have categorized everything that I could think of for just an in general private server experience, as well as a segment toward the end where it's all Turtle WoW related stuff. And I do it on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 being bad, 5 being great. Everyone knows how 1 to 5 scale works. First, we're going to start with how easy is it to download. So, it's very, very easy to download. Other servers, I'm going to use for an example like Elysium and those earlier ones, they would have you torrent the 1.12 client and then go in there and change the realmless name and everything, right? Now, that itself is not too difficult, but it sometimes can be difficult for some people to torrent things. Other servers, on the other hand, given what happened recently with a certain server, others know how difficult other servers can be. This server is very, very easy to download. I rate it at a 5 out of 5. It's literally, they already have the link provided, everything is already set, the realm list is already set. Sometimes you might have to change the realm list, but in my case it was already set. You download it, and you're done. You just make your account, you log in, it's done. Updates are very easy. When they update the game, you literally just log on to your client. When you get to your character list, it says, oh, it needs to do an update. It updates automatically, you refresh the game, and you're back in. It's very, very easy. So, let's move on to the next thing. The next thing on my list is the population of the server. Now, it could be, again, 1 to 5. How populated is it? I rate it at a 4 out of 5. It is not, like, super overwhelmingly populated to the point that no one can get in, which, some people would rate that a 5, others would rate that a 1, but we're talking about how many people are in there, right? So it's definitely not a 5 in terms of it's not over filled with people. However, I do rate it a 4 out of 5 because it does have enough people to actually play with. Like, when you're leveling, you actually see people leveling in the world, and I've seen them at all level brackets. I do believe this is because of the hardcore mode that they implemented, which give people a reason to re-level over and over again, or just, re-level in general. Also, the fact that they make new zones that are, lower level and not always level 60, it like gives people a reason to re-level to experience the new things instead of, one-shotting everything on an already made level 60, right? So, in this, and on top of that, the population just recently hit over 1,000 people online at a time on their peak hours. So when you have 1,000 people on at the same time, their population is steadily growing. This is a very, very healthy server, and right now it's just continuing to grow. So that is it's very good right now. All right, let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing is the community. How is the community? Like some servers we know, it could be a very toxic community, right? I actually rate the community. The community is a 5 out of 5 because ever since day one when I joined their Discord server, I joined their server, it has been nothing but very nice, helpful people. They have people that help you for hardcore, people who are looking for roleplay. If you have a question that's been answered 1,000 times, they're very eager to help you no matter what. The devs, I've heard nothing but good things. I've seen nothing but good things. The community overall is very positive. There are a couple of outliers. You know, you have a couple of trolls, you have people that try to manipulate the system, but that's to be expected with any video game, let alone a private server. So I don't think I'm gonna write that. I'm not gonna add that into the equation unless it was a very strong problem, but it's not so much in this case. That's why I give the community aspect of this server a 5 out of 5. So next thing is going to be the leveling speed. How fast can you level on this server? I rate it a 3 out of 5, and that's just because it's fairly overall standard. It's just the typical vanilla times 1 experience rate. So it's not fast, but they do, however, have an optional turtle mode, is what they call it, where you can actually level even slower, and you actually get benefits and rewards every 10 levels or so for leveling in turtle mode, as well as the other modes that they have. So overall, it is an average experience. However, they do have the option to level even slower, but because it's an option, it's not too much of a big deal. You can do it or not do it. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. So the next one is the NPCs pathing. How well are they coded in and all that kind of stuff. I overall rate the NPCs in this game a 4 out of 5. And the reason why I rate it a 4 and not a 3 is because unlike other private servers, they actually have roaming herds of Kodo. I know it's a little bit weird, right? But I've been on plenty of private servers. Some of them, their Kodos don't even... I'm using this as an example, right? They have other examples too, like the Gazelles and the Barons and other NPCs. I'm just using the Kodos as a good example. But the Kodos in Mulgore and in the Barons of some private servers, I remember I played on Kronos, and they didn't move at all. They stood still the entire time. Other private servers I was on, they would move, but move in a very short radius for what they used to roam in the original classic World of Warcraft, right? On this server, they actually roam. They actually go and do what they want, right? Same thing with the Gazelle herds and the Barons. Now, another thing that is fairly standard, which is to be expected of a vanilla server, is NPCs that cannot swim will not swim. Like, anything that's not like a crocolisk or something, right? If, humanoids, primarily. If you run into the water, they will not follow you into the water. They changed this in later expansions, but because this was a thing that happened in vanilla WoW, a lot of vanilla servers have it. However, some servers opt to have them swim. I've had servers where the NPCs actually will swim after you if you jump in the water. So I wanted to make that mention that in here they do not swim after you. And there's also smaller examples of various things like that. But overall, I think the pathing is fairly good. I did encounter one pathing bug when I was in, what was it called? High Perch or something in Thousand Needles where the wyverns are. There was one little section that is open. You can walk through it. However, if you aggroed the wyvern, they would go around the pillar, not just straight to you. And I was able to actually use that as a way to kill them fairly easily. And I'll show you a clip right here. And then it had some... Let me test this thing. Yeah, what the fuck? Look at this. Maybe I can abuse this. What the fuck? So, yeah, it's not a 5 out of 5. However, I feel overall it is a 4 out of 5 and it is very good. So now let's move on to the next one. So the next one is PvP. I am not giving this a rating because I have yet to PvP on the server. So I think that would be a better review for when I do my overall I've been to level 60 review, you know what I mean? But, however, I do want to mention that this server is a PvE server, but they have an optional war mode where you can opt in to be permanently flagged for PvP purposes. So those who wish to be PvPers can be PvPers while leaving the PvEers alone. Now, there is a bit of a catch. There are some bugs with this system, and not all of them are too terrible. However, it has led to exploitation and leaving the PvPers to try to manipulate systems in order to flag PvEers, which has led to controversy and other such things. What are your thoughts on recent war mode glyph? It has caused controversy to PvE players. Yeah, PvP players are just happy to be able to play their favorite game. I don't know why it's causing controversy, to be honest. It's literally allowing PvPers to PvP with having no effect to the PvEers at all. So why the fuck are they bitching? I think the only reason they're bitching is because, oh, God forbid you buff someone up who's flagged and then you get flagged too and then you're the one being griefed. Well, it's literally, don't buff a player that their name is green. That is the easiest fucking thing to do. If their nameplate is green, don't buff them because that means they're flagged. If it's blue, they're not flagged. That is literally the easiest fucking thing to understand. Now, the devs are aware of it, and they are currently fixing it. If they either fixed it as of now, or they have it already planned for the next update. I am actually not too sure about that, but they know what it is, and they know how to fix it, and they are in the process of fixing it. So by the time you see this review, probably in the future, that may have already been fixed, just to let you know. So that's also a testament to the devs and the server. They know exactly what's happening, they know how to fix it, and they do fix their game when they know there's something wrong with it. But anyway, there's not much more I could talk to you about PvP because I have yet to PvP. There is a new battleground, but I have not played it yet. So anyway, let's move on to the next category. The next category is PvE, basically dungeons. Now, there are new dungeons in the server itself, new custom dungeons, rather. I have only run one so far called the Crescent Grove, and it was fun. It was a new experience. However, I feel it was fairly standard, but not in a bad way, you know what I mean? There are other new dungeons that I have yet to do, so I can't give an overall rating for the new dungeons. But for the Crescent Grove, what happened was there was about four or five main bosses, a couple of small mini bosses hidden, and we managed to kill all of them. We didn't have any major wipes. We had a couple of, half wipes, but it was not too difficult overall. The enemies themselves, a couple of them are fairly hard. The ones with the bone armor that can absolutely wreck you if you can't dispel them or something. Those they slap. But the when you fit the dungeon itself, I'm sorry, I'm mixing up here. The dungeon itself, there were a lot of areas that you could avoid the NPCs, and I understand why players would want to skip all of the trash mobs and everything, to make the runs quicker. However, by the end of that dungeon run, I had only gotten like 3 or 4 bars of experience. There was not really a lot of experience to be gained from running that dungeon. Now, there are quests for the dungeon. I did not pick them up. I thought they could be shared by the one person who can pick them up, and it turned out they were not shareable, and I was just too lazy to go back and grab them. So that is my fault that I didn't do the dungeon quests, but there are dungeon quests for that dungeon. Now, other dungeons, the fairly standard ones, they are all, again, fairly standard. I did encounter one pretty annoying bug. It was not game haltering, but it was very annoying. In Wailing Caverns, the Serpent Bloom quest, the I guess you could call it collision, or I don't know exactly the correct term, but to click on the serpent bloom flower, it was almost as if it was like under the texture or something. I don't know what it was, but when you tried to click on it, it would just act as if it was not there. You had to like angle your camera in a weird way and click like sporadically, hoping to try to click onto it. Eventually, you would click onto it and you would grab it. It was just there was something really wrong with that quest. But other than that, everything else has worked as intentioned and it's overall fairly good. So the next one is going to be on their hardcore mode. Their hardcore mode, I give it an overall score of 4 out of 5. It is a very good system. It brings people out into the world. It gives a level of anxiety, I guess you could say. And it is very fun to, not you have to rely on yourself. You can't really rely on the auction house in order to provide items for you. You can group with other players, but they have to be also hardcore mode, and they have to be within a certain level range. I think it was like between 3 and 5 levels of you cannot be like run through dungeons. Dungeons are actually very anxiety inducing, which is very terrible but also satisfying at the same time when you do complete them. Now, however, it is not a perfect score, even though it does bring people out into the world and it's an overall fun system and it's a very engaging system. People in the hardcore community are very nice. However, there are those that look to manipulate the system. I talked about this in the PvP aspect. There are a couple of new systems in the game that can be manipulated in order to flag people who don't want to be flagged. Because of that, there are people who intentionally hunt down hardcore characters using these manipulation tactics. They particularly target the players who enter into the hardcore mode and they join the hardcore guild called Still Alive. That's like a flag for them to say like, oh, that's a hardcore character, I'm gonna go after him. A lot of people are now leaving that guild, which means they're not going to be able to get help in the game as easy, but it means they might be more safe. That, however, does not mean that won't be targeted. If people know you're a hardcore character, they're going to try to kill you. Now, it is a bit like more difficult when you're not in a starting zone for this to happen. I was able to play with a viewer of mine who was an alliance character and I was a horde character. I was using AoEs and everything. He was flagged, but I was not flagged. But it didn't intentionally cause anything to happen. He also used a couple of bonfires from the survival skill, which is a new skill in the server. I will get to that soon for its own rating, and those cause AoE buffs. Typically, the AoE buffs are what's causing the manipulation and flagging people who don't want to be flagged. However, that time around when he put down the bonfire, it buffed me without flagging me. So there are some things that work and some things that don't. However, as I said before, the devs are aware of it and they are actively fixing it. I think they've already made some progress considering I was not flagged by the bonfire when my viewer put it down and we were playing together. Uh, there's a lot of rogues in this little spot here. Okay, so there's Knack. He's the last guy I need. Warcraft Adventures, Lord of the Clans. Oh shit! Rogue! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! No! No! Three of them spawned on me!
Shit.
Three of them spawned on me! What the Rick, you bastard! I told you I didn't want to do this quest!
Oh,
Oh! And we had the last guy too!
that's so sad.
Oh my god, we hit level 20 and everything! We were almost 21! Fuck you, Rick, you got my character killed. But, yeah, overall, the hardcore mode is a very good experience, and I would recommend anyone who is interested in the server on making at least one character that's a hardcore character, and try it out at least once. So now, while I did talk about the hardcore mode, I put that in the section that just overall covers the private server itself. But now I'm going to get more into the custom content. And I'm going to start in with the new zones. Now, I did get a peek of the higher level new zones, but I have not played into them. However, they do have one new zone that was playable for my level range. And I have a whole stream of me playing through that, and I think it's in a couple of my highlight videos too, if you're interested in watching those. They are all on the Turtle WoW playlist on my server, or I mean on my channel. Anyway, so the new zone that I was able to do is called the Tirisfal Uplands. They are basically a second Silver Pine Forest. However, they are only for a like 5 levels. It's like level 14 to 19 or 15 to 20, give or take, around that area. It's kind of like a small, like, in-between level bracket type of zone. Now, I did play it. However, I was not able to finish it due to a bug with one of their quests. That it was not me. Apparently, other people were having this same bug too. They have fixed it since then. I've just not gone back and completed the quest because now I've out-leveled that zone. But for the several quests that I was able to complete, they were very good, fairly standard in terms of questing. You know, oh, go kill 10 of these, kill 10 of those, go kill this certain boss, or hey, there's a wanted quest, there's this guy hidden, we know approximately where he is, but go try to find him. Let me see something real quick. Target, what's his name? Storn. Oh! I targeted him. Alright, let's follow the cat. Where are you going? Bro, where'd the cat... Oh, he went this way. Oh, look at this! It's a hidden cave! Bro, my cat sniffed his ass out. I'm a true hunter. We sniffed his ass out. And it was a fairly, fun experience for me. I know a lot of people enjoyed seeing the new zone, and it was very good. And I am excited to see the newer zones that are higher levels than me, that I just have not been to yet, other than, doing a couple of eagle eyes to, look around. But they're just way too high level for me as of right now. But I will be streaming those sometime in the future when I do get to the level. Anyway, let's move on to the next category. So, they have new races on this server. And by new, I mean new for like classic WoW. You have playable goblins for the Horde and playable high elves for the Alliance. The High Elves are fairly just the typical Blood Elf model with blue eyes. However, I do think there is a slight difference in their model. I can't put my eye or my finger on it, but I know there's something a little bit off because it just looks a little weird. But I'm rating their overall races, and I'm rating their starting zones. The Goblins, I rated it a 5 out of 5. I believe it was absolutely, great. Both of them are very good. They are very compact, so they're all in their small little areas that you don't have to roam this big area. They're only leveled 1 to 5, so you're not stuck there forever like you would like the Worgen and Goblins of Cataclysm, which I absolutely hated. Like you're there until like level 16 or something. Here it's only 1 to 5, so you can complete it in anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, give or take, depending on how fast you are. The Goblin area, however, do have level 3 NPCs, level 3 to 4 NPCs that are stealthed, and they're very aggressive, and that can cause some issues in terms of leveling with difficulty. I had some issues as well. Friends with him, the dad. I'm still friends with him on Facebook. Oh, hi! What in the motherfuck? Look. Ooh. Whoa, hi! Hey, hey, whoa, 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 brah, brah, brah. Oh my god, I'm about to die. Oh no. Alright. But I felt it also added a bit of difficulty, which a lot of people do crave. The Blood Elf, or High Elf zone rather, is again very compact, level 1 to 5. The story was, fairly standard on both of them. Standard, but also like a bit engaging. They both had voice acting for their opening scenes. The Blood of Well having the first female voice for their opening scene, which both of the voice actors did a very good job. I was like, oh man, they sound professional. They're very good. They sound great. Um, the racials of the goblin fit for them, and all of their racials are beneficial and good. I tested them all on stream when I checked out their goblin area. I also have a video of just the goblin area, as well as a video of just the high elf area. The high elves, however, unlike the goblins where I rated a 5 out of 5, I'm going to rate a 4 out of 5. And the only reason is because I feel they're not as good as the goblins in terms of their racials. Some of their racial abilities I did not like too much. They have the same race. I forgot what it was called, but it was the one where you can buff up your rage, energy, or mana by like 5%. In the retail version of the game, it's an instant cast and it can interrupt. In this, it does not interrupt, which I'm fine with. However, it is a channeled spell, so you have to sit there and channel it for a few seconds in order to build that 2% of rage or whatever you had, right? On top of that, they had a racial that is supposed to give them arcane resistance. Okay, let's look at the racials. Okay, so arcane resistance by 10. Where would that be useful? Well, I guess PvP against mages, but only arcane mages, right? I guess some NPCs, but there's not a lot of NPCs in the game that uses arcane. Enchanting specialization and Quel'Dorei meditation, while channeling the spell, generate 4% maximum mana, 6% or 6 rage, or 12 energy. Okay, so it's basically just like oh my god, what the fuck was it called? It's basically the exact same ability that they had in retail, only it's channeled instead of instant. And I tried thinking about it, and aside from Hunters and Arcane Shot for PvP, I can't think of anything else that really uses arcane magic. There's the one-off NPC here and there who might use arcane magic, like a Dalaran mage or something that's out in the world. But when I'm thinking of raids, what raid, what dungeon besides, the few NPCs actually have a lot of arcane magic? It's primarily fire damage, right? Fire and nature damage and frost damage. Not a lot of arcane, so I find it fairly useless. It can be used, against hunters and their arcane shot and stuff like that, and a couple of the mage NPCs that you would fight in the world. However, I just could not find a better use for it other than that. So I feel like they need to be rated a little bit lower, but a 4 out of 5, so it is still overall a good race, and I suggest anyone to try these two races. Now it's for the quests. They do have new custom quests in old zones, and of course they have the new custom quests in their new zones. Now, I've already talked about the quests in the new zones. However, in the old zones, I feel they're pretty standard. They're, kill 10 of these, find some of these, and such and such. I did have a very fun time with the herb quest where you had to look for the herbs in the oasis in the barrens. It's like 3 of each type of herb at all the 3 locations in the barrens. It was a bit annoying trying to find them, but at the same time, it was like a scavenger hunt or an Easter egg or something, and it was very fun in the end, even though I was frustrated, like, oh man, I haven't found a single herb yet. But then once you find it, you're like, oh, there it is. So, there are the one-offs like that. There are a couple of other quests that are like that. However, overall, they are, oh, you're go kill a couple of these. But what's good about it is that they all take you to areas that you're going to visit anyway. The only issue is if you didn't know that quest existed in the first place and you had already visited that area, then you're going to have to backtrack a little bit. But once you know about it, then it's like, hey, they have this quest that's new and it goes to this area and I'm heading to that area anyway for these other quests. I'll do it all at the same time. So that is a very good thing, that it doesn't really take you out of its way. Except for one quest that I did find. Now, it did have a very, very funny ending. Um, it starts in Mulgore. It takes you to Durotar. You have to do like a quest or two in Durotar, and then it sends you back to Mulgore. So that was a bit annoying, but the ending was very, very hilarious. Oh wait, he's got another quest? Share a smoke with Shagu. Now that you've brought the herbs, I can set up my hookah and truly enjoy real good stuff. It is by the Earth Mother's blessing that such a combination exists. I would like you to try this and see for yourself what the gifts of the Earth Mother bestows. Sit down, sit down. Let us enjoy the smoke and bond with one another. And of course, the Earth Mother. Yes! Oh, yeah! Look at this, I'm glowing, bro! Bro, I smell colors! I smell colors! An eye-opener, isn't it, Barioth? You now feel closer to the Earth Mother than ever before. Rejoice and be one with nature. Bro, I love the Tauren. And, overall, besides smoking that weed, it was a very good experience, and overall I rated it fairly standard, but only because it was fairly standard besides the couple of one-offs that were fun or were just annoying and such and such. Like I said, it's overall pretty standard, but it's not in a bad way standard. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Alright, this one is short and sweet. They have hidden rewards in the world. And for that, I give it a 5 out of 5. Anything that has hidden rewards that are fun to find is good in any game. An example of this is they have illusions in the game, which I will be talking about a little bit more when we get to the store aspect. However, there are some illusions that you can find in the game. There's also other rewards too, like the herb quest I just talked about gives you a little medallion that when you play it, it plays this very like calming, like Chinese music almost, and it's very, very nice to find in any game to, find little items like this that are just for fun, but are hidden and they're rewards for exploring and doing new quests and new things. There's other things like illusions, like the pirate illusion, which only rogues can use, which is weird, but you can find that one in the world, and I'm not going to tell you where, you got to go find it yourself. And overall, I think that's very good, so 5. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the store, which I just mentioned. They do have an in-game store, and it is for donating to the server. And I do suggest you donate to these guys, because they do deserve it, unlike other people in the community and stuff like that. Not naming any names, but there's a few servers out there that are like that. I'm not naming a single one, There's a few servers that are like this. Anyway, Kronos. But they do have a store that what you do is you donate to their PayPal, which they have it listed in their Discord channel and on their website. When you do that, now they do go into euros. However, when you donate onto PayPal, it does automatically translate it from euro to dollar or whatever currency you are using. So, but what it is for every euro, you get 10 points. So if you see something on the store that's, 50 points, then it's like 5 euros or $6 or, whatever the rate is, right? So, and they do have deals often. They just had a Christmas deal where everything was half off, and that was very good. I donated to the server. I donated about $12, but I ended up buying something that only costed, really $6, and that was my Null Illusion. So if you watched any of my highlight videos or my streams, I love to use the Null Illusion. It's very fun. Looking like Hogger, running around killing people. It is very fun. Um, Overall, the store, I have rated it, unfortunately, a 2 out of 5. And the reason because while there are very fun cosmetic things you can buy that are just cosmetic and just for fun, for flavor, I do believe there is an aspect of pay to win. Now, it is not terrible. You're not buying gear on the store. However, what you can buy are bigger bags. You can buy portable mailboxes, portable repair bots, portable bank NPCs that spawn wherever you are, and then you can bank items out in the world. And I feel that is a pay to win thing. Another thing are the mounts. Now on this server, you can get a mount at any not like the normal mounts, right? Not the normal vanilla mounts to find if you got one as a reward from somewhere. Like originally they had a free turtle mount because Turtle WoW. They had a free turtle mount that everyone got at level 10, and it only goes walking speed, so it wasn't that bad, right? However, the store mounts, you can get them, you buy them and then you put them on whatever character you want at any level. Now, if they had left it where it was, based on your writing skill. So before you can learn writing, it just went walking speed like the turtle. And then if you learn writing, then it would go up, to 60% and so on. I think it would have been fine. However, it just came to me a day or two ago that it is actually based on your level, how fast they go for those mounts, while the other ones are, the ones already in the game will be based on your writing skill. Or I believe that's how it works. I don't know, but someone told me that it was based on your level and all this math involved that at level 30 it would run at 15% or something like that. I don't really exactly remember what the math was, but because it does give you a boost in speed, whether it's little or not, I do believe that is an advantage, and that is a type of pay to win on top of the other stuff like the bags and the banks and the repair bots and all that other stuff. So there is that element there. It's not egregious. There's obviously worse things that could have been done. However, because it is there, I cannot, wholeheartedly give it a higher score. I have to rate it a 2. So, you know. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. The next one is the lore. Now, this is for any of their custom quests, custom zones. Overall, I give a 5 out of 5, and that is because the new lore that they implement corresponds very well to the already existing lore, and it is very lore friendly, and it also, creates new lore on top of expanding old lore. Like the Tirisfal Highlands is this whole story arc about, the humans trying to take back their land, and the undead are still there and they're at war. You also have the one-offs like that herb quest I mentioned before of this girl from an unknown faraway land called, what was it, like Camino or something like that, or Camino or something like that, and it's very like Asian themed, and the little amulet I mentioned earlier she gives you plays like Chinese music, so it's like there's a human version of Pandaria somewhere out there, a small little island probably off the coast of Pandaria, and maybe one day they'll introduce that as a new custom zone that's new to the world itself. But on top of that, they also add in zones that were supposed to originally be for Vanilla WoW that were never implemented in Vanilla WoW to begin with, such as Island of Gilligajim, Lapidus. I believe they're adding in Hydro, or they have added it in, but I don't know if there's anything to do there yet. But they are adding in zones that were supposed to be in the original WoW. On top of that, they are adding in new towns. There's a new goblin town of Sparkwater in Duratar that has that have quests of all level brackets, from level 5 in Duratar to some that take you to Stone Talons, some that take you to Barrens, and so on. There's also, you know, stuff for the Alliance like Hawk's Vigil, which is in the wetlands, and it has custom music. That's another thing. The server itself has custom music, and it is all very good. Now, it's not everywhere. It's only for the new areas that you would go to, primarily the new towns. The new zones, I have not heard any custom music as of yet, but Sparkwater Port, Hawk's Vigil, there's a little spot on Jaguaro Island in Stranglethorn Vale that has custom music. It was all very well made. I love all of the music that they've implemented that is custom for the server. And again, the lore itself fits very well. It's all lore friendly, so I do rate it at 5 out of 5. We're almost there, guys. We're in the home stretch. So the next so the next one I want to talk to you about is the survival profession skill. Now, there is a sub-skill that's involved called gardening, and I can tell you about the quest to grab it. However, I have not yet experienced gardening myself, so unfortunately I will not be able to rate the gardening skill. However, I will be able to tell you about it shortly after I tell you about survival. So there is a survival skill. It's a brand new profession that's treated as the same as like first aid or something. I forgot what it's called, like secondary professions, where you can have them at, you know, with all the other professions that you have. Like first aid, you can always get first aid. You can always get smaller professions like that. Same thing with survival. Everybody can learn it, just like cooking, just like first aid, and it's not based on a primary profession. Now, what survival is it teaches you basically how to survive in the world. That's the lore of it, right? And there's a guy in Stranglethorn who sends you off on a quest to gather survival items. Now, luckily, they are in the zone. One of them is a little farther than the other two, but they are in the same zone, so you're not going over the world to find them all. Once you turn them in, he teaches you the skill. Now, to level the skill, what you have to do is you have to make a bunch of torches, bonfires, very simple things. But then, as you progress, you can learn how to make tents and other things that are for the profession. I believe some of it you can learn out in the world. Like there are hidden recipes and stuff you can find that are for that skill. But there are some you can just purchase from the trainer or the vendor next to him that is basically the like tents and everything, and there's all the supplies that you could buy, like the unlit torches. And what they do is stuff like the bonfires and the torches will give an AoE spirit buff, just like the cooking campfire, but on steroids. And it's very good. Now, however, the bonfires, I will warn you, there is a bug that they are buffing players who are flagged for PvP, which causes you to be flagged, and that unfortunately happened to me. Okay, there you go. Okay, so it looks like unlit torches are probably the way to go. But I do not have the bag space. That's gonna be something I have to do when I get a bunch of bag space. Traveler's tent is at level 75. That means I would have to buy like 75 of this shit. Oh wait, what the fuck is going on? Wait, why am I flagged? But they are looking into fixing that, and they've already started fixing it with the torches and everything. So it will be fixed, and if you're watching this in the future, it probably is already fixed. Now then, with the tents, however, they are very good, and people really like them. What it is that you put down the tent. Now, I don't know what the cooldown is, because I unfortunately have not learned the tent yet, but I believe it is a, probably, I think, a once a day thing. I'm not too sure on that. However, when you do put down the tent, what happens is anyone standing under or around the tent get a rested buff, just like an inn. However, it is fast. You don't have to sit there for days in order to get a couple of bars of rested experience. you sit there, and within a few minutes, you've already seen a few bars go up. And what the good thing is they can be stacked. So if another person puts a tent on top of your tent, it stacks, and you will see your rested experience bar go all the way up. You will watch it just climb. So that's a very good thing too. And when somebody puts one down, they announce it and everybody rushes. So it's a good communal thing too. Everybody is sitting around under the tent. Some of them chat, shoot the shit. Some of them go AFK. Or you have, like in one case I had yesterday where they had the tent, everyone was sitting, and a bunch of Alliance came and raided the town and killed everyone sitting under the tent. That was actually pretty funny. But you do have that system, and I feel it's an overall good system. You don't learn it at level 1. I think the minimum level to learn it is level 20. However, it's easier to learn it at level 30, given that it's in Northern Stranglethorn Vale where you learn it. So you're not going to be learning it right off the bat. However, those who do learn it, it does give them a bit of an advantage or a buff. And people who already have it can help lower level players. It is a very good system overall, and I really like it. And everyone knows how cynical I can be about crap like this, right? And if I like it, I think it is a good system. So I overall rated the survival skill a 5 out of 5. The next thing I want to talk about is now they added a couple of mini games into the server. The one I'm going to be talking about is the Thousand Needles Racing. Everyone knows the Shimmering Flats with their racing course, right? The goblins and the gnomes racing each other in those pod racers, right? But that was always for aesthetics. You can never actually race. Well, on this server, you can. Years of playing Mario Kart have prepared me for this. As long as I avoid the fucking sheep. Oh, he's right behind my ass. Oh! Come on! Woo! I won! Yeah! Years of Mario Kart have prepared me for this moment! Now, I rated it a 3 because it, while it is a very nice addition to have, you can race, and there is a little bit of a gimmick, don't hit the sheep on the racetrack, or else it's going to slow you down, and it feels a little bit like Mario Kart. The only thing I do not like is the fact that it's a one-on-one race. I wish it would allow more people to race at the same time to kind of up the stakes a little bit. Another thing is that with the racing, because everyone is going the same speed, unless somebody hits a sheep, if somebody's already in front of another person, it's very hard to pass them unless that person in first place accidentally hits a sheep, which sometimes it's easy to not hit a sheep, and then it's like, oh well shit, there's no way for me to catch up. They have a boost ability, but I don't feel like it does anything. I've already tried hitting it a few times, and I don't feel my speed increasing at all. There's a couple of other abilities too, which I don't know if they work or not, because just the way that my races turned out, I never really needed to use them. So, I feel like overall it can be a better system, but for what it is, it's a nice addition. So I rated it a 3 out of 5. And the last thing I'm going to rate is the looking for group. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, the cursed word, looking for group. Oh no, the server's ruined. Calm down. It's not retail's looking for group. It does not automatically teleport you to the dungeon. People do not leave and can re-queue and teleport right back with a new group. It's nothing like that. What this does is basically what is already in the vanilla game. And if you didn't know, there was already a looking for group system in vanilla WoW. You talk to the innkeeper and it forms a group. However, no one used it. In Turtle WoW, it's the same thing, but you can queue it anywhere, not just in the inns, and it will look for you people who are also interested in the dungeons, and it will group you with other players. However, you still all have to walk to the dungeon. So there's still that socialization involved. Like, hey man, do you have any quests? Oh yeah, let me grab them on the way there. Hey, I'll be right there. Let me grab some water. Oh, can you grab water from me? Yeah, sure I can. Hey, there's a bunch of Alliance players. Watch your way. Oh, here, let me help you get there. So you still have that social aspect to it, but it's much easier to find a group rather than spamming trade chat. You can still spam trade chat, and it's still, you want to spam sometimes in order to find the group faster, because everyone is on the same server, so it's not like, it's not like that cross-server or bullshit where it's like you can't invite other people and you can't trade with other people. No, there's none of that because it's all the same server. So overall, while I do dislike the retails looking for dungeon system, this system is very good because it helps you to find other players without you having to be completely active in like 10 different chats and everything. And you still have that social aspect, and you still have the you don't want to leave the group after a wipe because you spent so much time getting there and getting your group ready and all this other stuff. So I do feel it is a very good system, and I'm going to rate it I'm going to probably rate it a 4 out of 5, and it's not a 5 out of 5 because while I did say earlier the server is very populated, you can run lower level dungeons. However, some level brackets, there's not as many people. It's mainly in the middle of the game, like levels 30 to 40. You can find those groups. I'm not saying you can't. You absolutely can find them. It's not a dead bracket. But it's harder to find them than if you were a higher level or a lower level where there's more players, obviously. And that's just simple math. Overall, I have rated the Turtle server based on all of the categories that I have previously talked to you about. Overall, the score is a 4 out of 5. This server is very good. It's very nice. Like, everyone is very nice. It's welcoming to new players. And I really think anyone who's looking into playing this game should play Turtle WoW. And this is coming from a level 1 to 30, perspective. I haven't even gotten to the end game yet, which when I do, I will provide an overall rating again for the server, with including the raids and even the newer zones that I've not been to yet, the new PvP battleground that I've not been to yet. But for what I have seen from level 1 to 30, it's very good server. They're still working on new content. They're working on class changes that are supposed to come out fairly soon. There's no ETA. In the future, if you're watching this, it might have already been released. But again, this server is a very good server, and I really think anyone who is looking into it should play this server. Anyway, my neck is hurting from wearing my Tuxedo Manoroth and my Horde helmet here, and I am tired, and I want to go take a nap. So please, subscribe if you haven't. I do Turtle WoW videos, I do other World of Warcraft videos on other servers, I play other video games, I make cosplay like this. If you want to watch the video on how to make these or how I made them or whatever, you are more than welcome to watch those. I do post other cosplay videos, I go to conventions, and I do a bunch of other stuff, and it's all fun here. So, thank you for watching the video, and have a good day.